What is up, everyone? Fly Eagles Fly. Good morning to everyone, and especially to you, G. Rich. How are you today, my man?
Hanging in there, brother. A lot going on lately, dealing with the stress of Eagles media,
Yep.
the stress with school on my plate, real life issues going along with that. So it's like, I wouldn't call them issues per se, but just life endeavors. But it's
Right on. Same here, man. We're both on the grind with classes and whatnot. I got the new job with the alligator, but we're both doing our thing, and that's why
oh
folks.
yeah, oh yeah. Hold on. Shout out to Jesse. He's getting it. He got his job working for the alligator over at Florida in Gainesville, and he's possibly going to be podcasting there too. So we'll keep you updated on that.
Oh yeah, first episode for that coming soon, but we can touch on that a little bit later. But thank you, G. Rich. I appreciate the shout out there. But life is good. Life is good. Can't complain. And but yeah, let's talk about the latest football news and actually before we do that, I will say, folks, we apologize for being gone for a little bit there, but we do plan on being back every Sunday. It is the off season, so there won't be, well, maybe there will be a lot to talk about. There's a lot of news coming out recently, and we've been all over ESPN, so we probably will be back weekly. But anyway, let's get into it. Let's get into the Super Bowl just briefly a little bit because it is Andy Reid, Big Red. We gotta love him. He did a lot for us. If we fired that man after one bad season to hire Chip Kelly, we thought Chip Kelly was gonna revolutionize the NFL, and then Andy Reid went and revolutionized the NFL instead, and we fired Chip Kelly 3 years later. So Andy Reid won the Super Bowl last year. This is the second Super Bowl in a row, and his team got absolutely crushed by Tampa Bay. It was not even close. It was 31-9 final score. And yeah, what was your thoughts on the game? I thought they got absolutely shut down. Patrick Mahomes did not look like himself.
The Buccaneers had an amazing game plan despite letting up Madden numbers that Tyreek Hill the last time they played. If we're talking about that, what was it, like 12 catches, 268 yards, like 3 touchdowns? That's literally like not an everyday stat line, obviously. And they took that to heart. They game planned against them, and the Bucs came out to play. Shout out to them. Shout out to Tampa getting their first Super Bowl since like 19 years ago, something like that.
Oh yeah, shout out
Yeah,
shout out the Bucs fans everywhere. It was a long hard road for all of them.
It's our turn. It's our turn.
It's our turn again. We're starting over.
It's our turn again. We're already in a drought again.
We're starting over for some reason. 3 years removed from a Super Bowl, we were saying run it back, and Doug Peterson is gone. I guess. Yeah, from there we don't have to talk about too much this Super Bowl. We all saw it. It was like more than a week ago. But the Buccaneers won. It was absolutely dominant. Devin White looked great. Tom Brady looked pretty good. Travis Kelce for the Chiefs looked the best. I think he put up some crazy numbers, like 130 yards or whatnot, and like 9 catches and something like that. But that's just Travis Kelce. But they came up not even close. I was going to say short, but it was just a beatdown. But that leads us to the Eagles because that same weekend, I believe it was at least within that same week, we had hired a new coach, and it's fresh face, new young guy.
Coaches.
Of course, yes, new coach comes with a new coaching staff, but Nick Sirianni from former offensive coordinator from the Indianapolis Colts. So first impression, when you saw this name when he first got hired, what was going through your mind, G. Rich?
So when Nick Sirianni got hired to the Philadelphia Eagles, I'm excited. I'm always excited to see a new face and see, because we had a lot of ongoing struggles that didn't seem to be getting fixed by our current staff. So it's a nice little switch. Instead of going up the Andy Reid tree all the time and grabbing another root off of his tree, because I think, don't get me wrong, Andy Reid, shout out to Big Red, like you said, love him to death, but I think it's time for a change a little bit. I like not skewing on that topic as well, like Jalen Hurts underneath Nick Sirianni, I think is going to be a nice little mixture right there. I like the leadership qualities I'm seeing out of Jalen Hurts early, rolling with it. So he's kind of like blocking outside noise, and instead of getting involved in media, he's taking the team and going. Or he's taking the receivers and going to throw. So
wait a minute. I am seeing some very solid keywords coming from you right now. I'm seeing key names. I'm seeing a background right now. Wait a minute. You are sending all kinds of messages like right now in this background. So
am I now?
Interesting. So Jalen Hurts is gonna play great. So it sounds like you're about ready to move on from Carson Wentz there, buddy.
I'm tired of it, man. I love Carson. I love him to death. He's done so much for us. I'm moving on from it. I mean, it's just the divorce is brutal, but it's gonna happen. There's way too much toxicity up in this media nowadays involving Carson Wentz's name. I don't think Carson Wentz is wanting to deal with it anymore. If he's going to continue to quarterback in the NFL, I think he needs a fresh start. Not saying he won't find success somewhere else, but if he happens to start for Philly, he throws one bad pass and, the whole stadium's going to boo his ass out. So I'm just like, I'm just at the point where Jalen Hurts, he's shown his qualities. He has his issues. He knows to clean up. I've seen enough of his background that I think that he's just ready to take on the role, and I think we should just roll with it. I don't think we should go quarterback now. Like I've seen some reports. I think that's a huge no.
That's a big no. And sorry, folks, for kind of flip flopping between coaches, but we will get back to Nick Sirianni. This is a very important topic, though. Now that we're on it, so it sounds like you're about ready to move on from Carson Wentz. I don't blame you. This whole thing is, and I wake up every morning. I watch Get Up. I watch First Take. I watch the Undisputed with Skip and Shannon as much as I don't like Skip Bayless. Even Colin Cowherd touches on it. Like, before I do get into that, is what's crazy is we went for 11-1 and we're still making headlines within the weeks of the Super Bowl and even still now. And I think that's go Birds. We're still out there. People are still talking to us. People care.
Shout out.
Even though we were just so bad. But anyway, so look, yeah, I don't blame you. And I would love to see Carson run it back and just shut everyone up and just just throw one bomb to Fulgham and that's it. First play of the game, it's a 70-yard bomb to Fulgham or even Jalen Reagor. I don't know. And
my boy Jay Reed.
And everyone's like, okay, never mind. This is it. This is the year. Or he throws the first pick. We were all wrong. Here's your $20 million, I guess. And that's that. But honestly, at this point, if we can get something nice for Carson Wentz, like say a additional first-round pick this year, maybe a player, and I've actually even heard reports that Zach Ertz could be included in a package with Carson Wentz. I mean, they played together so well, I would see why not. And you can get even more draft capital out of it, or even another player. So I love Carson. I'm kind of glad I didn't get a jersey yet, because now I'm just kind of like, wow, I was really about to.
Thanks.
Now he's just not as great. But oh well, Carson, we love you, buddy.
I'll hang it up in my rafters. It's all good.
You just put it up on the wall. That's where it belongs. But I guess it's Jalen Hurts season. I guess it's, as Eagles fans, we have to embrace that, and it's just time for a new era, I guess. Carson Wentz was the past 3 years. It didn't quite work out, but now we got Hurts. Now we got possibly Jamar Chase. Now we got, or possibly Devontae Smith, or possibly Kyle Pitts.
No way how we can fuck this up, right?
We don't know. Or he's going to get a quarterback. I don't know.
If he drafts a quarterback, I might be buying a Carson Wentz jersey again.
just to be like, you guys messed up. This is still my man. Oh my gosh, that'd be so petty. But go for it. I'm so about it. But yeah, so there's really no way you can mess this up. But that is if we can get that kind of package. Now, if we can get an additional first round, I think we can definitely get both a not a quarterback. Please don't draft a quarterback. We can get like both, say, Jamar Chase and tight end Kyle Pitts. Why not? I mean, I don't see why not stick with the 2 tight end package.
You're saying in having 2 first round picks?
Yes, that is if we make that trade package happen.
I love Kyle Pitts, and obviously you love Kyle Pitts.
No, I do because of where I am.
Obviously,
yeah.
But I think that if there is a nice defensive piece available at 20, like if we make that trade with the Bears per se, because everybody's seen that stirred around headlines with the Bears that they were listening to 2 first round picks and a player, but
and a certain player at that too.
But there's people saying that with that 6th pick that they can see us getting. Well, we never draft linebackers, so we're not even going to bark up that tree. We never draft linebackers that early, but
probably just stick with Singleton.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Parsons he's an intriguing prospect, but the Eagles just don't go linebackers that early, like ever. It's not in Howie's resume. But I would not mind seeing Patrick Surtain.
That would be nice.
I would not mind. And then you get him, and then you have Patrick Surtain learning under Darius Slay, a long time successful vet. So
that would be the ideal situation. And I mean, so I see a lot of I guess mock trades that would have Nick Foles coming back, but I really hope that doesn't happen. I'm so tired of
controversy.
I
don't think
that would only just stir up more controversy, right? Like, why? So you're gonna trade Carson Wentz for Nick Foles and just like go right back to square one, like where they were before? That doesn't compute to me. Like, I don't know.
See, my take on that personally is Jalen Hurts. I'm not knocking my man Carson Wentz, but something about Jalen Hurts and like especially his come up between Alabama and Oklahoma, like all that he dealt with in those years of college. There's a different level of fight in that man that like I don't think that he would be intimidated. I think if we brought in Foles, he'd be like, "All right, beat me out, man." And I do. There's something about him that he doesn't seem like that person that looks over his shoulder. He looks like he just wants to take the limelight and just run with it.
That's true.
And I don't know what it is, and I could be wrong because media tells you whatever the hell they want you to think. But according to media, Carson Wentz just has been looking over his shoulder way too often lately, and instead of just worrying about moving on and progressing with the team, and I think that hurt him very much so. So,
yeah, and I mean, you can literally see pictures of the guy looking over his shoulder at, like, whether it be Coach Peterson or Jalen Hurts, and the receivers having like a good time and like celebrating, and he kind of seems like an outsider. Like, honestly, if I were Carson Wentz, I'd be like, I don't care if you got this new guy, this new offensive mind. Like, I kind of want out. Like, I just kind of just the emo kid at lunch that's kind of just sitting at the edge of the table just by himself. Was I that emo kid? Yeah, I totally was. So I know exactly how Carson feels. So where will we go? I don't know. I think Chicago might be that spot. I just really hope. I
hope it's Chicago because it seems like they're giving the best in return right now. I mean, I saw the 2 seconds and the conditional late, like mid-round pick. That's all right. I mean, that's an extra couple second-round picks. But how many late to or mid to late round picks is Howie missed on?
A lot. Every single one.
So the earlier the better. First off, if we could snag that pick 20 now, and we could snag like Jamar Chase and just a defensive piece, or maybe even an offensive lineman. I know we have some people coming back, but maybe we move some of our older guys, and maybe we kind of start fitting in new pieces. Who knows? I mean, Kyle Pitts, that's an intriguing prospect too.
Exactly.
I mean, anybody that follows our social media saw a little bit of Kyle Pitts love.
If you follow my personal, you'll know that I am a stan of Kyle Pitts. Kyle to Kyle, obviously. I love both of them. But sorry.
Can't hate. I mean, I can't hate the pick if we happen to grab him at 6 because I feel like he will be an impact. But I do.
Too. He's long enough and he's fast enough to.
I mean, to have a tight end. Sorry, I'm not meaning to cut you off, buddy.
You're good. Go for it.
I would say to have Kyle Pitts, someone that you can bring down and play 12 personnel because he has experience at the tight end position, or someone you could spread out to the X and run like a little fade route on a small corner. I mean, that's always a positive too. But I just feel like the Eagles have not had such an intriguing prospect like Jamar Chase, like a chance to get him. You know, I mean, like that man.
Or even Smith.
And you know damn well if we don't draft either of them, we're going to watch them blow up next year. And that's all we're going to see all over social media.
Right. I mean, so there's a solid three options for a receiver. Like we've been saying it the whole podcast. Jamar Chase, Devontae Smith, Kyle Pitts. And either of those weapons are going to work. I'm sure there's a lot more that we're not even naming. But my point is, don't draft a quarterback, please. Don't. If you want to get Surtain, I'm fine with that. If we need a corner, then yeah, I agree. We totally need like a defensive back. We need anyone on defense. Honestly, that doesn't start with the defensive line. We need to work linebacker backwards, like for sure, definitely. And so that leads me to my next question. And I didn't have this on the list, but now that I'm thinking about it, if Howie Roseman misses on this draft, is that the final straw? Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Peace out. Thank you for all that you've done. Even if you don't draft any of the players that Jesse and I have discussed, it is a salute to you, brother, and good luck to your future endeavors.
I mean, it's like one of those things where it's like you literally have the first round, bro. You have the first round to show me that you are a competent general manager and you know how to draft. And like, there's so many weapons. There are so many things that we can get in this. He
has a chance. He has a chance here. He did not get canned when he should have. A lot of people are really skeptical about why the Eagles are holding on to him and why Jeffrey Lurie has not kicked this man to the curb. But I think that his chance lies on, and this is one of the big reasons, especially if I'm Howie Roseman, I would not draft the quarterback. That would be ridiculously retarded to do, first off. Second off, I think a lot of his success is going to rely on how successful is Jalen Hurts now. Like that pick that everybody hated. If he comes in and now this is a little far-fetched, but if he became like an MVP candidate, if he just had like a blow-up year under new coaches and just just was very successful, that obviously looks good through Howie Roseman's resume. And then he better draft. I mean, I'm not saying we're like master scouts or anything like that, my guy, but we watch football. And if you don't draft like Jamar Chase, it's if he's available. I mean, Devontae Smith is an intriguing prospect too. Or just like any of the names that could possibly be a big asset to us. If we come out with like a name that I've not seen on a mock draft, unless there's some magic behind that, yeah, peace, bro.
Yeah. And that's the thing is Howie Roseman is a gambling man. We've seen it time and time again. He just doesn't go for the big obvious name for whatever reason. I don't know. I mean, do I know why DK Metcalf fell all the way to like the position that he did? No, but if he's there, why not take him? I don't know if there's some kind of character thing. I mean, I am noticing lately DK Metcalf has some kind of a little bit. Look, every football player is going to have one. Every person maybe has a little bit of their own kind of ego, but I guess maybe there is a little bit of stuff there with DK, maybe with the pacifier stuff and stuff like that wouldn't really fly with like the Philly fan base, because I can tell that we all make fun of him all the time anyway. So I don't know. I just feel like it's going to be one of those things again where he's going to be like, oh no, here's this really good offensive lineman, which wouldn't be bad, but we can wait on a pick like that, like on like the fourth round.
If we pick a offensive lineman with that first or that sixth overall pick, I might go crazy. You might see me flipping out on social media, guys.
That's a Howie Roseman pick. It's simply a Howie Roseman style pick. It's to be like, oh, you wanted this big obvious name that everyone on the mock draft said that we're gonna get. Screw your mock draft. I'm gonna drop this just no name guy from Stanford. And I'm like, who is this? Who is this? I will say that the last pick I was really happy with was Miles Sanders, and that we don't even use.
You're throwing a little shade at J-Jaw.
Yeah, I am. I'm throwing shade at J-Jaw. I'm throwing shade at whatever pick that just hasn't worked. Really, honestly, like, because we all of our weapons have come from the practice squad, and which I guess is like, oh, good signing back then for the practice squad. So, but we just need him now because all your other signings are old and they get hurt, and now we have to use them. You know, it's
John Dorsey. Remember, he's an ear, or he's a voice in Howie Roseman's ear coming up.
I thought I heard that he had moved on somewhere. I thought
if he did, I completely missed it. But I follow a lot of media. I'm not sure how that would slip by, but if he did, he did. But if not, that's an extra voice in John Dorsey's ear.
An office consultant. Okay.
Did he move on?
Eagles personnel consultant John Dorsey heading to Detroit. So he did move on.
He went with Deuce.
Yeah. Let's see. Personnel consultant John Dorsey leaving the organization to join the Detroit Lions. An NFL source confirmed to SportsIllustrated.com. Let's see. What's he doing there? Much more defined role as second in command on the personnel side. So yeah, he's so there goes that voice in the ear that we've been.
Okay, so it's all in the hands of Howie Roseman.
It's all in his hands. I mean, I guess I've been seeing a lot of this that I guess we can go back to Nick Sirianni right now. And that is that a lot of people are saying he is a pushover hire. He's supposed to be a guy that Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman can control. So that leads me to my next point of why not give Nick Sirianni some word in this draft process? But then maybe people could argue, be like, oh, because he's not going to have that. He's going to be like, oh no, you're going to sit over there. We're going to draft your team, and you're going to work with like what you got. So, because I mean that appears to be a little bit of maybe what I've seen from the past couple of years. Maybe Doug had wanted to get DK Metcalf. Maybe Doug wanted to get these big names, but Howie Roseman said, haha, no, here's JJ Arcega-Whiteside instead. And
see, and that's the thing, dude. We'll never know. It's all speculation.
I know. all we can do is just sit back here in our chairs and be an armchair GM
and just talk about it. Just talk about the pain and the suffering that we get put through.
Yeah, and just hope for the best, honestly. So let's talk about Nick Sirianni a little bit more. Let's talk about his intro press conference that caught a lot of eyes and a lot of ears for a lot of the wrong reasons. So I want to hear your first impression. Did you watch the press conference? And when you did,
I did.
And if you did watch, okay, so you did. When you did watch it, what was your very first impression of the guy?
I don't think that we hired him to be a public speaker. So I want everybody to pause their brakes on the Nick Sirianni hate, because I mean, coming from a new team, especially to a team like Philly.
Yeah,
that's tough on anybody, and I liked what I was hearing. Basically, he's gonna dumb down the offense and lack of better terms. He's going to dumb it down because we're going to have a lot of young, new talent on our offense. We have, in my opinion, I could be wrong, I think Jalen Hurts has taken the snap on week 1. But
We'll see.
I just think that the way he was looking at it is dumb down the offense a bit and let your talent do some work. And then as you build chemistry, you can actually start progressing a little more on and you can make it more complex, but it's building a foundation. And that's what he was talking about. He was like, not coming over here and giving us the most complicated offense, putting people in these roles that they're not used to. He said, take our talent and roll with it. We have Miles Sanders, one of the most talented backs in the league, underutilized, and he's always up there with numbers. I mean, Jalen Reagor, hopefully, because he played through that. What did he have? A thumb injury or something on his hand?
Yeah, he broke his thumb.
Yeah, he played through an injury. We had a lot of issues between injuries, which is no surprise with the recent years. But I think that I like Nick Sirianni's view, and I'm excited to see how he comes out. And I think with new coaches, you either flourish or you hit a new floor.
Right, exactly. And I mean, I the first thing you said, it was the first thing that came to my mind is look, public speaking sucks. Especially yep, exactly. I mean, so public speaking is very hard, especially in a huge city like Philadelphia, where the media will absolutely tear you apart if you say the wrong thing. And I mean, the entire nation, as the media tore the poor guy apart. I was like, wow, they're actually looking at this guy's press conference. And when I've seen worse intro conferences. I mean, I think everyone's forgotten about the Adam Gase press conference when that guy was smoking something before, and he was just like,
I didn't think that was real. I actually had to go look that up. He paused and it was he was seeing ghosts, bro.
Yeah, it was. He was making Sam Darnold see some ghosts too eventually. So yeah. So look, I've seen
another thing. Yeah. While I have that on my mind, I want everyone to put that talk away that Sam Darnold is a more intriguing prospect than Carson Wentz, bro. That's a real topic that's moving around media. I've been seeing some smart fan on Twitter. I was scrolling down Twitter and I saw some people saying that because of his age and his contract, and they think that he was just not used right in New York, and that with the right coach, he's better than Carson Wentz, basically. And I was like, I mean, it's a little far-fetched, but
what? Oh, I mean, okay.
Not to throw our topic to the side, but yeah, bro.
That's interesting. So, I mean, Sam Darnold's young. I get that, and he's got the cheaper contract, but I don't know. But Twitter is sometimes you gotta stay off the Twitter. And it's was there a check mark next to this guy, or is this just some armchair?
I can't be 100% on that, but I definitely saw enough that it sat in my mind. It was in the sat up and.
I mean, now I got that sitting in my mind. I'm kind of like that. Okay. So look, the thing is they both have potential. They both have potential to be good somewhere, maybe just not in their current place. I think that's what I'll say about that. And Sam Darnold obviously does not belong in New York with the Jets, because the Jets are just a humongous dumpster fire.
Who knows? Whoever said that could be absolutely right, but it's all speculation, and that's just kind of. I mean, Sam Darnold really was put in one of the worst situations, and I saw some pretty impressive highlights out of the guy, but to go ahead, yeah, I mean, some of the throws that he's able to make from certain positions, I mean, he with the right coaches, I mean, maybe he can be good, but this isn't the Sam Darnold podcast, so
yeah,
we ain't gonna touch too hard on that. I saw that and I was like, I have seen it all. Like Sam Darnold, who gets clowned on all these years, and then Carson Wentz had all this success. He had one bad year, so you're going to speculate his whole career and say that he had a less successful career, or like that, or he's a less successful prospect out of the two. You think that Sam Darnold would have more success in Carson Wentz's shoes?
Probably not.
I don't think so.
Probably not. Probably not. But yeah, I don't know. That's a weird theory. I'll just call it that. It's a theory. Because that's just all speculation. But like I said, if they both found new places, they might be good. I don't know. Only then would I compare on better prospect. I mean, I guess better contract. I don't know. I'm trying. I'm gonna try and move on. But anyway, so back to Nick Sirianni. So for his press conference, like we said, it wasn't the best. His public speaking is probably not that great, but as long as he can lead a locker room, it shouldn't be that much of a problem. And I mean, obviously the guy has NFL experience. He's been in the league for a little bit now, and I don't see an issue. And like you said, maybe he'll find that kind of chemistry with Jalen Hurts. I think he will. And Jalen Hurts is still young. We are older, me and you, than Jalen Hurts, me and you. And I think that's absolutely insane that I'm not going to get that age. I'm so old now. And so we're depending on a kid to like lead this NFL franchise if we do trade away Carson Wentz, if that actually happens. Because now I'm seeing reports that we might not even actually be interested in trading him, or we're just trying to see what we can get. I've been back and forth. I've been hearing back and forth on all kinds of things for that. But so my question to you is, do you think that Nick Sirianni can have a winning record this year?
I mean, I always think there's a possibility. And as a fan, you go in every week wanting to win until it's gone. But even then, look at us last year, Jesse. 4-10-1. And we said, let's go win that game.
Yeah. we're very optimistic, I will say.
I mean, Philly fans tend to be a strong mix of optimism and pessimism. I definitely think that we have too many pessimistic fans that like to shake their head early. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, so I saw a post that somebody was comparing Carson Wentz's first 5 years to Drew Brees' first 5 years. And you can imagine what the numbers looked like. But yeah, we made it look like Carson Wentz literally did jack shit for us in 5 years, and then we're just going to ship him off for a bag of chips. It's like, I think that with Nick Sirianni, not to steer from your question, I think Nick Sirianni, he has a nice resume. I mean, it kind of seemed like in order for Howie to try to fix his mistakes and getting rid of Frank Reich, well, I guess not necessarily his choice, but you notice that a lot of these players come from either the Chargers or Colts, or a lot of the coaches, right?
Right.
See that little trend?
Yeah.
Remember Frank Reich stays back with the Chargers, and now he's with the Colts. So now they're barking up the Reich tree a little more.
That's that. I guess is that better than barking up the Andy Reid tree?
That's to be seen.
That is to be seen. I guess you're right. I mean, look, I see all the comments, not with our cap situation. And I will say he's worth a shot. I will say our cap situation is pretty crappy at the moment. And but how he's supposed to be some kind of cap wizard, right? He's supposed to rework the contracts, and that's
I think that's played out.
Yeah, but obviously when he worked the Carson Wentz contract, he's like, oh, let's trade the guy because he had a bad year. Because that makes sense. Yeah, so bottom line for Howie Roseman, and he's probably going to be gone after this draft if he doesn't hit. But for Nick Sirianni, I think he might have a better season than 4-11-1. but I think at best he'll probably do 9-7. That is his roof this year. 9-7. Like if he exceeds that, then heck yeah, you blew me away. Like all hail Nick Sirianni. You were a great hire. Like I don't care what anybody says about at the press conference. You're obviously some kind of genius, but his ceiling this year is definitely 7-9. And if he doesn't exceed that, then I will not be upset. It's a first year coach with a second year quarterback, no name receivers as far as we know as of right now, because I don't think that Djax is going to come back. I think we might have to just get rid of him some way, somehow, get what we can.
Jamar Chase.
Yes, exactly. We need to look to these guys. Alshon Jeffrey can honestly pack his stuff too. We just got to work with these young receivers. We got to basically just hit the hard reset on this, as much as it sucks. In 3 years after the Super Bowl, hit a hard reset.
Is Alshon?
See where it goes.
Are you aware of Alshon's contract situation?
I would have to look it up on Spotrac, honestly, but I'm guessing. But isn't he? I think he's signed for like a couple more years, right?
I think he's still under. If we have him for another year, I don't think he looked bad with Jalen Hurts tossing him the rock.
He didn't look bad.
And then if he's not or not,
I was concerned about his injuries. Go for it. Sorry.
No. You're good. I agree with you about the injuries. I do think though that if we take a little bit of the focus off of Alshon, we give all the focus to, a new prospect like Jamar Chase. I'm going to keep speaking that into existence. If Jamar Chase steps up, if he steps up as number one, and then we have Alshon working on number two corners with Jalen Hurts throwing in the ball, and then that leaves our little lateral quickster, Jalen Reagor, to work in the middle. I see a lot of intriguing positivity there that we can work with. And Jalen Hurts, I liked his, I'll say it again, we won't break too hard down into it, but I like his decision making. The man, he walks with a chip on his shoulder. He has confidence that you can see. He doesn't look like he gets rattled too easily. When he says hike, that man knows his reads. I saw a video of him talking to, I don't even remember his name, a pretty well-known media guy. He was talking to him about like the X's and O's of the game, and he was just telling him his reads, his progressions, his breakdowns. He just seems like, and he even said to conclude that video I saw was, "I'm a student of the game." And I was like, that's really intriguing to hear, that you're not out there just using your athleticism to succeed. Like you're actually like using a little bit of mental behind it, and that's kind of what we need at the quarterback position, because coaching is, we need someone that has a strong head on their shoulders to run this offense.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, especially with this new guy. I mean, who knows? I mean, and you're right. He totally showed that swagger that you kind of want to see it in like a quarterback. Just coming in, leading the huddle, and acts like he knows what he's doing, and managing the pocket like somehow better than Carson Wentz ever did. I don't know what it was, but he was avoiding sacks, and he was trying to make plays, almost like he was like another Patrick Mahomes out there. But not as good, obviously, because a little bit of his choice making might have been questionable, and some of his throws might be inaccurate here and there. But he's young, he's a rookie, he's still got a lot to work on. But he's got a new quarterbacks coach. He's got new offensive coaches. He's got young offensive minds that he's not going to have before. And what kind of offense will we run from Joseph? I honestly, with all his speed, and especially with Jalen Hurts, we could probably run some kind of option offense if we really wanted to. Like throwing Miles Sanders back there with Jalen Hurts, run to the right, and just pitch it to Miles and see where he can go. Even Boston Scott could probably run that, because he's small, fast, and he can for some reason break tackles as small as he is.
Right.
So I'd be totally about that kind of offense, like even no huddle. We can go back to that kind of Chip Kelly kind of thing. Just get it fast, get the defense on their heels and toes, and just like speed, because we have lots of it. Jalen Reagor is fast. Miles Sanders is fast. Our whole offense is supposed to be fast. We just gotta make sure.
Quez Watkins, fast.
Quez Watkins.
I'm excited to see him under this new system if he can flourish, because that quick burst that he had against the Arizona Cardinals, that was nice to see, because we haven't seen that since the early Djax days, where a receiver could just turn and take it like that.
Right.
Like that was really much needed, even though we didn't have such an ideal conclusion to the season. Like, that was nice to see.
Exactly, and especially just from some other guy on the practice squad.
As far as what kind of offense we will run, my answer would be probably watch the 2020 Colts. I would not be surprised if our offense looks very similar to how that was ran with the Nyheim Hines role. I always slip up on his name. The Nyheim Hines role. Because we have enough running backs and firepower to put in our backfield to do that. So it's like, what will we see?
Even the Colts offense was very simple. It was very like, keep it simple, stupid. Like it's like very straightforward and not a whole lot of like trick plays here and there from what I saw from them. It was just straightforward, maybe go for enough work down here and there. And I wouldn't mind an offense like that, even with someone named Carson Wentz. But we're probably just not going to get that, and that's okay. I'm just gonna have to live with that.
I was about to throw out there too, though. Like, evidently, which I think this is far-fetched myself, but if Carson is still a quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, I think that Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts under Nick Sirianni might have a nice little balance between the two. Because if you remember a couple notable names, Phillip Rivers and Jacoby Brissett got some notable snaps even with Phillip Rivers being healthy. And he used to use his running ability well. He passed sometimes too, because he's a big bodied guy. So I mean, everyone's looking at this trade so quickly, and I'm like, with his contract situation and everything, I would think if there's a chance that they keep him, it might be because of the contract, of course, and it's kind of a safe play out. Why don't you see what you have before you go into $30 million in debt? Unless Carson is really like trying to break the locks to get out, like that's
right. I mean, I don't know. It's what's going to go on with that quarterback package over there in the Colts. I mean, they're both expensive. Apparently, they're honestly just as expensive as the Carson Wentz single contract. So I don't know, but I would like to see Carson Wentz return. Maybe have some kind of quarterback battle. Apparently, Sirianni wants the same thing. But I don't know. At the same time, I'm seeing reports that Carson Wentz has been in touch with Nick Sirianni. Carson Wentz has been in touch with Jeffrey Lurie. Carson Wentz has not been in touch with Howie Roseman. So I think we're all starting to look at problems in the building and starting to experience. But maybe that's because Howie Roseman's looking at these trades. Maybe Howie Roseman's the guy that doesn't want him anymore. But at the same time, I read this report that Howie Roseman has like one of those fat head wall like plaster thingies of Carson Wentz like on his wall. So I'm kind of like, which one is it?
But in all reality, Eagles media blew that up a lot more than it was, because if you saw the actual picture, it was just a mural from when we won the Super Bowl, basically.
It is,
but they're going to turn around and they're going to look at the 1/3 of the picture of Carson Wentz and ignore the Fletcher Cox fat head up there too, right?
But it's a noteworthy detail. You never know. It's the devil is in the details. All right, you never know. But yes, but this will be a very interesting offseason. And quite frankly, I can't wait to discuss the rest of this because there's a lot more to come. There's apparently the trade talks have increased, even though the whole week has gone by. That was supposed to happen, so maybe it's not going to happen anymore. So we'll see about that. And I mean, we got plenty of coaches to talk about as well. And I mean, honestly, I think next week we should come up with some mock drafts. Honestly,
Ooh.
I think that's.
I can't say I haven't been playing around with some mock drafts lately, so I would not mind a little mock draft segment.
I'm just gonna make mine with all quarterbacks.
Oh yeah,
draft every single quarterback.
That'd probably be the most accurate mock draft that you could make.
QB factory, baby.
That's what I'm talking about. Now, I wanted to bring up that we haven't talked about. We saw the recent release of J.J. Watt, and we saw Lane Johnson and Jalen Reagor trying to bring him to Philly. I mean, what do you think, Jesse? Is that anything that would interest you at all? Or
I'm interested. I mean, I can't say I'm not interested, but the thing is, how expensive is it going to be? Because we are in absolute cap hell. If he wants to take a super massive, awesome discount, then yeah, let's sign him. But the thing is, we can't because we are like our cap situation is just not great right now. I would love that talent. I would love that voice in that locker room. I think he would be an absolutely great leader. But this is one of those signings that we're going to have to take the L on because I know it's not going to happen. I think he's going to come to Pennsylvania. I think he might go to Pittsburgh with his brother. And that would be probably the ideal situation for him. I've read a lot of stuff about even going to Chicago. I read a lot of northern stuff. I read northeast even. But the thing is, he's a very expensive man, but I think he knows that. I think he's going to take a very nice deal somewhere, but it's not going to be a Philly. But what do you think about it?
I like the Khalil Mack and JJ Watt combination. That sounds pretty intriguing.
Dangerous.
And very, very dangerous, correct. I mean, now evidently if we do somehow land him, which I mean, like you said, that's really water under the bridge. I don't think that's a possibility. But Fletcher Cox and JJ Watt. Imagine them working them interior offensive linemen. I think that they would be having a very difficult time containing the two.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind having that talent, but like you said, it's not very possible. It's just not really heard of. With the situation we're in, to pull a guy of his age that late in his career, pay him the type of money he's probably going to ask for. It's just like it's not right. That would be going about our old ways, which is not what has not worked out. And our luck, I mean, I don't wish injury upon anybody, but like if we sign JJ Watt somehow, I would willing to put bets that he misses like 6 games.
That might be true, honestly.
He's older. I'm not saying he's injury prone, but I'm just saying like with Philly's track record, it's kind of like that whole thing that like you and I talked about. If we would have drafted Justin Jefferson and let Jalen Reagor go, we'd probably be talking the opposite way, saying like, "Oh, Jalen Reagor was the better prospect," and then Justin Jefferson looked terrible with Philly. So.
Oh my gosh! I mean, in that case, you can just look at those dang receiving coaches, which I guess is why we got a new one. Of the many new hires that we got, and they're all super young, and it's gonna be great. But yeah, JJ Watt is kind of out of the question. I don't think that's gonna happen. I've even seen reports on him going to Cleveland, which I would totally believe. Why not? Mm-hmm. Cleveland can totally pull that off, I think. But yeah, the thing is, he's older. He's gonna want to maybe be more expensive, but teams are not going to want to do that. So we'll see, because like Joseph just said, we are 55 million or something, or something is about the right word, because it's probably even more than that. And we are just so effed, honestly. It's
the amount of people that we're gonna have to drop to just fix the amount of people that we're gonna have to fix or get rid of to fix our cap is just insurmountable. Like it's gonna be very interesting. So if Howie is really this cap wizard that everyone's talking about, now is the time for him to exert some of that wizardry, because I don't think that there's really any two ways to go about it. And if you get rid of Carson Wentz, that what is it, like a 25 to 30 mil cap hit? No, I think it was like 33 mil or something. It was like a record breaking cap hit that we'd take getting rid of him. Right above Jared Goff.
Wow. Yeah, I would say I'm actually looking at the Alshon Jeffrey contract right now, and let's see. So in 2021, he's got a cap hit of $6 million. Let's see, with the yearly cash of $1 million, and then he signed until 2023. It looks like.
I say give him a shot to work on the number twos. I don't think he's a number one receiver, and with the new coaches, that little soft spot that our old coaching staff had for Alshon, that they kept trying to put him out there as our number one receiver, I think might be gone, hopefully. Because, I mean, Alshon's great, don't get me wrong. But can you imagine, like, a big-bodied receiver like him? He works with confidence when he's healthy. He's not a bad receiver. You put him on a couple of those number two receivers or corners, and this man might make some noise over there. I think, and Jalen Hurts, a guy that likes to take those 50-50s, he might turn and be like, I like my guy on this route. Put Alshon on like some of these no-name corners working them number twos, and let him make some noise over there. And I mean, possibly go out with a bang. I like Alshon. I don't like the whole Josina thing and all that happened. Whatever, like that is what it is.
As far as we know.
As far as we know, Josina Anderson with her wild takes.
An interesting reporting going on over there.
Yeah,
but yeah. So I mean, I like Alshon Jeffrey. Don't get me wrong. He won the Super Bowl. You know, he's a great guy. But he's with 14 million guaranteed. I mean, I think that's something we could have worked out. But so I don't know. I think for how expensive he is, he's definitely not a wide receiver one. But I think that we can maybe even get something out of him. I'm not like at this point. I'm just saying, just reset. Like just like get rid of these old guys. Let the young kids eat. Like feed JJ. Let the kid work. You know, like I know a lot of people think he's a bust, but I you know, I know I talked a little bit of smack on him today, but it's like I think he still has that chance. He's to like prove me wrong, you know. I think he can still put in that work.
I think he's at best Jason Avant,
and that's fine. Jason Avant had a pretty decent career for the Eagles. You know, he wasn't that bad. I mean, even with John Hightower, I think he has potential. I think with these receivers that we have and with this new coach, I think that we can make something to work. We can make something to work over there.
Yeah, because even Joseph was saying, he brought him up earlier when we were talking about some of the receivers. Hightower, he showed some light. Even with Carson Wentz, he caught that deep pass from Carson earlier in the year. I mean, he had some pretty decent looking deep route running.
Yeah,
definitely. So I mean, like I would like to see, but he like disappeared, and then I guess when Alshon became available, they kind of put Hightower on the back burners, and I was like, I mean, don't get me wrong, like I saw plays where like 50-50 balls that they threw up to Hightower that I felt like he could have made more of a play on.
Right.
But he's a rookie.
Exactly.
And he's not a first round rookie either. So
Yeah.
what do you expect out of this guy? You're going to draft him out of third round. He's like third or fourth round talent with some speed, and you're going to just toss it up to him and like known defenders and expect to win that 50-50 battle. It's not always going to work out like that.
Exactly. And like, but that's what I'm saying is, but they're young, they're rookies. You gotta let them eat. You gotta give them their snaps, and let them run their routes. Let them run their 60-yard streaks or whatever you want to do. But we gotta get younger. We gotta get faster. And I love Alshon. I love Djax. I think that they have been great Philadelphia Eagles. They've done a lot for the organization, but it's time to move on. I feel like I think we just gotta let these young kids get the first snaps and save some money. I mean, and like Joseph said, Travis Fulgham, he showed a whole lot of light in the middle of the season, and then he just kind of disappeared for some reason. No one knows why, but I would love to see more of him. I think that guy also has a lot more potential than people realize, because he showed that for that week 6 through like 9, whatever it was, where he was just going off for no reason against the Steelers, and then so on and so forth, and the Ravens. Yeah, the Ravens. Yeah, and then like I want to see more of him. I think he got put on the back burner too when Djax and Alshon Jeffrey tried to come back and whatnot. So
that's what I'm saying. I think we have a lot of talent that's ready to explode. So a lot of people, because they saw the way that we played the majority of the year, which I don't blame them. I mean, and then the microwave reporters, like it's what they roll on. They got to take the best that they can get and make reports about it. We know because you and I both were writers at one point and still do write. You write for the Alligator. And I mean, when you see topics, you kind of, I mean, like you want to validate them, but sometimes you just got to roll with like what's going on in the media. And with that comes some hate. So it's not that all of them are trying to wish bad upon Philly. It's just they're going with what they see. I mean, one thing that I can say, I mean, going back to this topic, like what kind of offense will we run under Nick Sirianni? I can tell you what I really hope he does is bring some creativity to our offense, dude. Because I felt like we got very, very basic. And that, I mean, like, don't get me wrong, basic is fine, but when I say basic, I mean like 3rd and 11, let's run 2 curls and 2 streaks.
Yeah.
And then let Carson just make some magic happen. Like, no, why don't we run like a nice little like jet sweep pass or like any of these crazy plays that we see these other teams run, all these wildcat formations, all these like fake double option or like double option flea flicker, pass it back, or like just some crazy, just throw something that we haven't seen before,
right
here and there. And that's all Philly wants, man. We just want somebody that's gonna, I mean, not necessarily dazzle, but like someone that's gonna at least show some fight and creativity within there.
Exactly. And I think we were like one of the worst teams in pre-snap motions and like just pre-snap movements in general. And that's definitely showed because I mean we call so many audibles, but we never really had a set play where players get set, they run pre-snap motion, like whether it's a jet sweep or like a fake jet sweep, play action, or have Miles Sanders line up outside to the slot and come back, and then I don't know. We didn't see anything like that, and it's just really boring. We always thought it was kill, and then like you said, it'd be some kind of weird curl flat, and then one guy making in like an in route or an out route or something like that, and I'm like, what? Who drew up these plays? Like, did Carson Wentz go to a whiteboard and be like, all right, you run this, and like that's like playing backyard football and then like just drawing a route like on the football like for the person to see. If you ever did that,
Just go up in the huddle and say, all right, guys, get
you're gonna
open
run a
here.
curl and you're gonna run 6 feet
He
out.
turns around. He's just like, let's run. Let's draw us the plays. Like back in the good old days, or draw it on the football.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like that literally seems like what he's doing, and it's I don't know. Maybe he just had to move on Carson Wentz.
Between our new offensive coordinator and Nick Sirianni already came out and said he's going to be calling plays. I just want to see some real creativity. That's all I ask. I mean, even if we, like you said, our ceiling is like 9-7. I mean, like I'm not too far off of that. I mean, I would love to see more than 10 wins, but that's kind of far fetched with a brand new coaching staff and a second year quarterback. Well, who knows? We've seen crazier things like Patrick Mahomes stepping in and coming in off of his first. He sat the first season, then came in the whole next season and just took off with 50 touchdowns. Not saying Jalen Hurts will throw for 50 touchdowns, but you really never know what you got in a guy until you really hand him the keys. So Jalen Hurts might be something special that we don't even know we have yet. But with that said, I hope they don't do him dirty like they did Carson Wentz. So that's for sure. Because Carson definitely probably he has a lot of football left in him, and we're gonna see it. We're gonna see him in other colors. It's not gonna look right.
Yeah, it's gonna be a very sad day for me, and I guess a lot of people will probably be happy about it in this fan base, but not me, because we did him wrong, and I'm afraid we're gonna do Jalen wrong, and that's just what we do. We're a QB factory, and we we're like the worst. We're like the worst QB factory in the nation. We just make a crappy one, and they're like, on to the next one.
But this has been going on. This has been going on for years, dude. Like through the Andy Reid era with Jeff Garcia and
yeah,
and then we had
and stuff like that.
all of them. Cobb,
Yeah.
when Cobb came in and had a little bit of success, and then when they saw him throw that pick six to Ed Reed, then everybody just turned right on him. That's going way back. I mean, we're talking like the whole Andy Reid era, and I'm just hoping that's kind of like it. I mean, I know Andy Reid's doing just fine now with Patrick Mahomes and everything, but I just kind of hope that's an Andy Reid tree type deal. And now that we're not barking up that tree, that we might be that normal team that has a quarterback and a normal running back, like normal running back usage.
Never.
If we can have that, that'd be nice. But I mean, Philly really can't have nice things. Like that's something that has been a known thing. And if we do continue to do some crazy, unexplainable moves, I think the blame really turns towards Howie hard this upcoming year.
Definitely, it has to. It has to. There's no other way. No other way. But anyway, on that note, there's a lot more we could talk about, but we have came to our hour. So we can definitely pick up this same conversation next week. We can come up with some mock drafts as well for the nice folks watching at home or even listening to us on Spotify or on Anchor.fm. I don't know if we're live on that yet, but working on it.
Not yet, but I will be working this week to upload this one. I was actually going to tell you I'm going to start doing that this week with Anchor, and I was running into some technical difficulties, but I'm going to get that going.
Hey, all good. So that's the update for you guys at home. We will be available to you guys on audio only very soon. Spotify, Apple Podcast, you name it, we'll be there very soon. But for now, we'll see you guys next Sunday. G Rich, it was awesome getting back together with you again, my man.
Likewise.
And so we'll see how this Carson Wentz trade talk unfolds within the next week. Maybe something will get done, maybe not. Who knows? But everyone who's been commenting and watching us for this far, thank you guys so much. Make sure to follow us, like us on all the stuff down here: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, you name it, we're there. Eagles Plus, Eagles Fans Problems on Instagram. G Rich, any final words?
Let's just get all this Carson Wentz drama out of the way this week. I want to be talking about a firm decision next week. That'd be nice, but that's to be seen.
Exactly. Hoorah on that, my man. Alrighty, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in again. Hope you guys have an awesome day. Be safe. Don't catch
Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah. Happy Valentine's.
Anybody out there that has significant others, or your own, or your mom, who knows how you're rolling?
Or if you're kissing that bottle of beer like I am, cheers. But happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Have a good weekend. Be safe. Don't catch any COVIDs. I know I've been safe and whatnot. But yeah, guys, thank you guys again. Peace out. Fly, Eagles, fly.